She's saying no, but
she's mad, but she still can't even stand.
She's so wobbly.
Sean Wei Lee is furious.
She's upset. But 100%.
Oh, happy new year and welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of Axe Kick Picks, episode 77. Today is January the 5th, 2024. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock, and joining me from the golf capital of the world, the legend Joey D. Joey, how you doing today, kid?
I think I'm forgetting some light here. Let's shine some light at the moment. How you doing, everybody? Hey, how's it going?
Keep it moving, baby. How you doing?
You're off right.
Well, yeah, we got a big show for you guys. Like last week, I love the award show. We gave out a bunch of awards. So if you guys didn't check that out, make sure you guys go check out episode 76. We gave out a bunch of awards. Joey also put them out on our social media as well. He did a good job doing that. But this episode, no fights, but we'll take a look at the future market. 9 out of the 11 weight classes have updated odds for the 2004 champion. They have to end 2024 as the champion and you will be cashed out. We did it last year as well. It was a lot of fun. It's just an opportunity, make some bets. And while we're still on a little hiatus, UFC returns next week, but we got a great show for you guys. We'll start actually with some news. I know we usually take care of the news at the end of the show, but I figured since it was so big, we have to start here. The notorious Conor McGregor is back. He will most likely probably will headline International Fight Week June 29th, which is odd. Usually it's in July, but he will face Michael Chandler. Supposedly in the video, he said 185. I love it. I love the video, Joe, just because he basically was saying to the UFC, to Michael Chandler, to anyone, I'm controlling it. I'm going to, even if it's not at 185, I control when I put it out. I control what weight I'm going to do it at, and it's going to create a lot of noise, which is exactly what it did. One, you were right. It is going to be Michael Chandler. And two, do you like it at 185?
I scoff at that. It's not going to be at 185. That kind of gave it away at the end. The video.
He's a legend for that, though.
Yeah, that's like when the villain gives away all his plans. I saw that out there. That was hilarious. And then he laughs it away. But no, I mean, honestly, the closest weight that he can make it is 170. 185 is kind of out of the question. It just doesn't make sense for either of them because, I called it a little while ago. The dark horse of the lightweight division to me is Conor McGregor. And for him to be in that conversation, he would need to be a guy like Michael Chandler at 155. I think even at 170, that kind of, puts a break on that because now he can fight Nate Diaz 3 at 170 if he wanted or something else. It's just not a class I think that they should settle at. But the video was hilarious. It could be some mind games. We don't know if any of this is true. In my eyes, in my heart, I don't believe him. I got to hear from the president. Got to hear from Uncle Dana. I got to see what he says. And if he confirms whatever Conor said, then we'll go from there. But right as of now, man, I can't take him at his word. It could be all mind games. Conor's the master of mental warfare. And
I was glad you brought that up because I was going to say, I think it's a little of mind game tricks. He's the master at it. But, usually when guys claim false things, especially fighters, the promotion usually jumps out in front of it and says, this isn't true. They're actually doing this. They've kind of stayed quiet. You know why? Because Conor is Conor. He's going to sell it out regardless if it's at 185, 170. I agree with you, though. I don't think it's going to be at 185. I think it has more of a chance to be at 170. Conor is huge right now.
Yeah.
And so is Michael Chandler. He hasn't fought in over a year. He's coming off this big injury, Conor McGregor. And like he said on The Ultimate Fighter, this is my game. You'll do what you're fucking told. So, yeah.
I love it though. Like you said with the mental warfare, it's just this back and forth because Michael Chandler's training this whole time, and Conor, he posts a video of him like drinking and just like he's nerfing himself, and he's gonna get in a fight with Michael Chandler. But there you go. If he does beat Michael Chandler, I mean, if Michael Chandler beats Conor McGregor, he's right back in the conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously that does a lot for Conor if he beats Michael Chandler there. So. A lot going on, man. It's all fun. It really is. I had a couple more thoughts. I don't know why I'm losing my track of thought with that, but
no, you're good. I had something to say though, but so I agreed to your other point you made a little earlier on, and you were saying how you know, this lightweight division is kind of up in the air with Islam Makhachev. You know, he's not the most active fighter in the division, and it's kind of on a standstill right now. There's no indication that he will be defending against Charles Oliveira. There's rumors now that it might be against Justin Gaethje. Nothing going on with Dustin Poirier, even though he's kind of been flirting with UFC 300. But I agree. I think regardless of who wins, especially if it's Conor. First of all, Conor, like if Michael Chandler wins, I think he's one fight away from the title. But if Conor wins, because of the star power he holds, I could easily see the promotion being like, yeah, you got the title shot right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Islam's going to have to win his belt, of course, but I think it doesn't matter. I mean, if he doesn't, I don't see Islam losing in a matchup anytime soon. But if he does, yeah, that's even more of an argument for Conor to get to the title shot, you know, because now the lightweight division is really open for anybody. So.
Now, do you see him going up? Maybe we've heard speculation of maybe Islam moving up to 170 welterweight, but he's only defended the title twice, and people kind of want to see him stay at 155. Now, if Conor and Michael Chandler go to 170, what does that do for the welterweight division? You know?
Yeah, I mean, he can absolutely move up and challenge Leon for the 170 belt, but I think both of them, I think what the UFC is going to want to do is they're going to want both of them to defend their belt at least once, you know, and then see how they perform from those performances and see if they do want to get something like that going together, a super fight between, lightweight champion and the welterweight champion. But no, I do think that both of them are going to wind up having to defend their divisions because they both have their hands full with the weight classes. I'll be honest, you know, lightweight is as deep as it comes, and welterweight now is intriguing. You know, we're gonna definitely get the Bilal matchup for Leon next, and there's that with that title wave lurking. So Leon's got his handfuls, Islam's got his handful. That might be put on the back burner for now.
Yeah, right now opening lines according to DraftKings for the Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor fight. No, Conor McGregor favorite -120 plus 100 even money for Michael Chandler. I got it a little earlier, a couple days ago when it opened, and I got Conor McGregor at -110. I already put in a bet for him. I just feel like, a lot of things can happen in 6 months. I understand that, but when are we ever going to get Conor McGregor at a -110? Like, I know he's coming off this major surgery, an injury, and Michael Chandler is very dangerous, especially with those leg kicks. I think Conor could have some problems with that, but I just see that left hook coming from Conor McGregor.
Left straight, man. Even I've seen 3 different sets of odds, and I don't know if some of them were overseas or if they were just competitions, but it was one to pick them, and it was one where Conor was favored and one where Michael Chandler was favored. So I think they're all over the board. To answer your question, when's the next time we'll ever get Conor McGregor at minus, would you say 120, whatever it was? If he does win this matchup against Islam, he'll definitely be the underdog in that one. So
yeah, 100%. Now, do you agree with the line? Do you think Conor McGregor should be the favorite based on coming off this huge injury?
My thing is that he would be the favorite kind of closer to the fight because more people putting money on who would be the A side, even though there is no A side in UFC.
It's Conor McGregor.
The casual fan, the people who just know the name, you're gonna put some money on Conor. So I would think as it gets closer to the fight, it'd be a favorite on his side. But I did say that's why I came out and said pick him right away, and then it turned out the odds when I saw were pick him. I said this is a pick him fight because of the layoff and the losses and the resumes. Conor's beaten Eddie Alvarez and Michael Chandler's lost to him. Granted, he beat him, he got it back, got that loss back. But if you lose to somebody, MMA math doesn't always equate, but there's signs. There's signs there.
And, I just think you're right. Closer to the date, about a week out, I truly believe Conor's going to swell up to. We saw it with the John Jones effect. Him and Cyril Gane coming off that long layoff. John Jones opened up a -120 favorite. He ballooned up to over a $2 favorite at fight night. And as unfortunate as it is, Conor McGregor's fan base is 10 times the amount of John Jones's fan base. Exactly. Just imagine the amount of Irish fans that are going to be coming to Vegas for International Fight Week and going to be placing not just, $100, $200 bets like you and I do. They're going to be putting thousands of dollars on Conor McGregor, the notorious. So just imagine fight night. If you like Conor McGregor now, I personally would put a bet in on him now, just because I don't think we're going to get this short of a number. I just don't see the public or money coming in on Michael Chandler, especially just because he's who he's going against. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely is. And I mean, not to like foreshadow a little bit, man. We're going to be talking about future soon. I wonder what Connor is looking like for the future champ, you know?
Should be very interesting. But yeah, the Notorious is back. International Fight Week. Surprised it's June 29th, right?
Yeah, the calendar is all messed up because we even talked about it with AC. Easter Sunday is in March. So it's something the calendar is kind of off this year. It's a leap year. Yeah, so we're really in the thick of it right now.
Yes, sir. But can't wait for the Notorious to come back and beat Michael Chandler. Another thing that's going down, we got a 5-round main event in UFC Vegas 89 at the Apex April 6th. The Italian Stallion, Marvin Vettori, is taking on Brandon Allen. I fucking love this fight, kid. Give me Brandon Allen all day.
He's definitely going to have to work from his back because definitely, Marvin Vettori, he does like pushing the pace and, he's like that ogre in there, bro. He's got a chin of granite. He's built like an ox, he's like you said, the Italian dream, bro. So he's definitely going to be putting his head forward and coming at Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen's going to have to be off his back foot counter and he's definitely going to have to find a way to win from his back or at least, score. If Marvin Vettori finds up in dominant positions and on top, and Brendan Allen has really good jiu-jitsu, so he's slick when it comes to those exchanges. I think the strength, I do think Marvin's a really big 185, so I think he's gonna come in big, a lot bigger than Brendan Allen. Not to say he's not big either, but yeah, I think there's gonna be a discrepancy with the strength. So my fear is that if Brendan Allen can't kind of control the pressure, he's in for a long night. That's the truth of it. But I'd be honest with you, if we're going to give me odds, I think Marvin Vettori should be the favorite. I don't know if there's odds out already that he is, but
wow.
Yeah, I just think with the resume, the precedent that he's had, he's fought the champ. He's been in a title fight already. Brendan Allen's trying to get there. This is who he has to beat to stay his case, make a name for himself.
But let's be honest, Joe. He didn't look good against the champ. Yes, he got there and he got an opportunity, but he didn't look
better
good
the first time around.
Yes, sure. I'll say that. He looked good. He looked much better the first time around than the second time he got exposed. And I will say this. Me and you both thought he didn't really win against Roman Dolidze. I think he kind of got gifted that win. I don't really like the recent form of Marvin Vettori as opposed to Brandon Allen.
Who's on a tear?
He's on seven fights in a row. He's beat Paul Craig, Breno Silva, Andre Muniz, Jocko, Jacob Malkoun, Sam Alvey. Like his last loss, he got knocked out in the second round in 2021 by Chris Curtis.
Yeah, I gotta agree with a couple people that I don't really put too much stock in those. You gotta look back and look at their resume and say, that okay, the way they lost, that's always plausible because history can repeat itself. But yeah. I agree with some of those out there. I don't put much stock in fights like past 4 or 5. Like 4 or 5 fights ago, you are probably most likely an entirely different fighter, for better or worse. I mean, it's just what it is.
And, he is getting better. You mentioned his jiu-jitsu and his grappling. I think he could tap him out if he gets the floor. He could tap out anyone, Brandon Allen. He showed it. He rear naked choked Paul Craig, who's a world-class jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
rear naked choked Breno Silva.
On the stand-up, to be honest with you, compared to Marvin Vettori, do you think Brandon Allen would have the advantage there? Just my concern about the strength, the durability, tough positions that Marvin can, find his way out of is Brendan,
all in Allen.
Oh, I'm trying to look back. I'm trying to think, I don't really think Brendan Allen was really in too many compromised positions through his win streak. So, not to say that he doesn't have that dog in him. He absolutely does. But I just want to see him respond to the likes of a top 5 guy, which is Marvin Vettori. Like I said, everything that I said before, this will prove a lot. And, with the finish of Marvin Vettori, I mean,
he's one fight away.
Brother, he gets one more fight. He's in a title. So
yeah, 100%.
The sky's the limit for him. But on the other end, another convincing win by Marvin Vettori, man. He's back in it too. And I just like what the UFC's doing. It's, honestly, the fighters are kind of making it work for the UFC. If you see these divisions, the middleweight division is one of the more intriguing divisions now. And I mean, going all over the place. Let's go to flyweight. You look at 1 and 2's fighting, 3 and 4's fighting. 5 and 6. You see how the UFC is
Yeah.
making it? It's really working itself out well.
Yeah, 100%. And in the middleweight division, they're keeping it active. Number 5, Marvin Vettori's fighting number 8, Brandon Allen. Like you said, a win for Brandon Allen. He moves into the top 5. He's one fight away. He beat a Bobby Knuckles, maybe a DDP or someone. Hey, even maybe fight the champ. I can't wait for Brandon Allen to take the UFC all the way back to Louisiana. Can't wait. We need a fight night over there. But yeah, big fight in April. It's the fight night right before UFC 300, April 6th, Apex 5-round main event.
Yeah, packed area right there at the end of March, April.
We got March Madness going on too. We got to reschedule. Dominic Reyes and Carlos Ulberg were supposed to fight this month at UFC 297. Got rescheduled. Dominic Reyes or Carlos Ulberg had an injury. Got rescheduled for UFC Atlantic City March 30th. So you surprised there? We might be able to see Carlos Ulberg twice.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I think the dude's a star, man. Honestly. A couple more performances, a couple more shutout performances, I think would do him wonders, because when we saw him in Charlotte, that was a shutout performance. He had got nothing. He had everything for his opponent in that.
He just he puts on a clinic and just hide him from your girlfriend.
And you come out to The Rock, and The Rock's back, so you know it's real.
Exactly. Speaking of UFC Atlantic City, the return of Chris Weidman, baby. He will be taking on Bruno Silva, 185 Atlantic City. I mean, we got to get all the Jersey New Yorkers down at this card, baby. I fucking love this. It might be his retirement fight.
I'm gonna go see that. I gotta see my boy Chris Weidman. I've been a lifelong fan, and nothing but the utmost respect for that man. If he's gonna make it his last fight, even if not, I'm gonna be there in AC to watch him, because that's my boy.
Have you seen his documentary on ESPN?
No, I've seen the highlights. I need to sit down and watch it through. But yeah, honestly, some gut wrenching kind of stuff.
Yeah, the injury is just insane. So it shows everything. Him overcoming just an insane injury in his leg. So I have to watch it. But everyone that I've talked to said that it was absolutely amazing. So
he's always been a fighter, man.
Always. And then last but certainly not least, we have another fight that was announced today. Manuel Torres will take on Chris Duncan, UFC Mexico City, February 24th. You like this fight for Chris Duncan?
Fight, absolutely. Bro, don't sleep on Manuel Torres. I told you, I had him for one of my nominees for Knockout of the Year, bro. Super legit guy, striker. He's good off his back. Watch out, Chris Duncan, because I honestly don't see that fight going the distance. No. Either guy can knock one another out in that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a barn burner, that one. I like the matchmaking, too, over there. So, Mexico City got some good cards as well. Good fights as well.
Who we got matchmaking? We got Sean Shelby still and Mick Maynard, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shout them out, man. They're doing their jobs well.
But that's about it. That's all that was announced this week, Joe. But before we get into the futures, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with Joe or an elderberry on a Saturday night, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at X-Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, Joe, let's make some picks for 2024. Now, we're going to have to wait 12 months for our tickets to cash, but it's still a little fun. It's still easy to get some action in.
Before we do start and get into it, you did mention you had some from last year. From your own, did any of them go?
The only ones that hit for me, Islam Makhachev, and that's it. Islam Makhachev. Oh, and Alexander Volkanovski. He remained the champ, but
he's still the champ at featherweight.
but that's it. I didn't have John Jones winning. I didn't have Alexa Grasso champion at either. Didn't have no one ended as a champ at the bantamweight. No one no one knows who the champ is there for the women's. Zhang Wei Li, I didn't have that, but Leon, no, I thought it was Kamaru Usman. I thought Izzy was going to be champ. I thought it was going to be my boy Magomed Ankalaev. That's my boy.
Anybody had, talking about the money line for Sean Strickland. If you had a future for Sean Strickland last year to be champ, you'd be rich by now.
Oh my God, especially since he ended 2023 on 0-2.
That's what
no,
I mean,
2022 0-2.
You would have said, "Oh, Sean Strickland's going to be the champ 2024, bro." That ticket would have been plus 20,000.
Yeah, or something. It's something ridiculous. Let's start with the welterweight division, Joe, if you don't mind. I like it. We kind of accustomed to it. Leon Edwards is the champ. He is the favorite right now at plus 100. Then you got Shavkat Rakhmonov at plus 200. Then our boy Bilal Muhammad at plus 300. Islam Makhachev at fourth at plus 600. Ian Gary 11-1. Sean Brady 11-1, and then the Nigerian Nightmare Kamaru Usman at 11-1. You got the champ keeping his title, or you got another guy?
Just to say something, I would honestly, out of the long shots, I would think Kamaru Usman would be
100%.
more than Ian and Sean Brady there, but I have my play. I'm just going to evaluate it. Islam is sneaky. We talked about possible getting that matchup, but he would have to fight twice, and so would Leon, because we know that he's going to get that matchup with Bilal at 300. I think that's the only thing confirmed so far. Yeah. As welterweights go, whoever does win that fight at 300 is going to have to defend it against Shavkat Rakhmonov. And like I keep going back to it, he's just that impending tidal wave that's coming. And when he gets his title shot, I don't think there's any stopping him. So my welterweight future champion is Shavkat Rakhmonov at plus 110 when I saw it, because I feel like if Leon Edwards gets out of it, the one place you could take advantage of him is getting him off his feet, and that's what Shavkat can do best. And the same thing with Bilal. Even though he's shown significant improvements in his wrestling, I think you don't want Bilal or Leon standing. The way to beat them is to grapple them, out-grapple them, and submit them. And the guy to do that is Shavkat Rakhmonov. Obviously, the other guy actually would do that. It would be Islam, but I just feel like he has a little longer road, if we're being honest, than Shavkat. So Shavkat's my answer. The Nomad, man. Kazakhstan on the map, baby. Plus 110.
Yeah, right now you could get him at plus 200 as well. So shop around. But no, I agree, Joe. I as much as I wanted to take Bilal Muhammad because I do think he could win and beat Leon, I think the way they've kind of dicked Bilal Muhammad around, I think they're going to want to turn him around quick against Shavkat, because Shavkat's next. Regardless of what happens at 300, Shavkat is next. He's earned it. And by that time, what do you think it's going to be? International Fight Week a little later than that, maybe July, August?
I'm thinking fall next year. It's gonna
be fall. It could be even fall, September, October. So it has to be. I think Islam is a very sneaky one, if I'm being honest. I think he defends it one more time at lightweight. But my problem is with Ramadan coming up, if he doesn't get a fight before then, you're not going to see him until after 300. And then at that point, he's so inactive, we're not probably going to see him till November, December, maybe Saudi Arabia again, or Dubai card in late October, early November. I just don't see the pathway to Islam going up. Eventually, I do think he'll go up. I just don't know if it's this year just because of his inactivity. But I agree. I think it is going to be at the end of 2024, unless something crazy happens like it did in middleweight division with Sean Strickland. I got to go with Shavkat Rakhmonov. So give me Kazakhstan and their first champion at plus 200.
Love that.
Let's go to the bantamweight. We're just going to keep flying around. We're not going to go in any order. The bantamweight champion. I mean, I just get goosebumps just listening to his walkout with Lupe Fiasco, superstar Sean O'Malley, and then just beating up fucking Aljamain Sterling. It was incredible in Boston too. So he is the champion right now. Plus 150 for him to stay champion. Then you got Merab Dvalishvili at plus 250. Umar Nurmagomedov at third at plus 275. Fourth, Corey Sandhagen at plus 500. Fifth is Henry Cejudo at plus 600. Sixth, Chito Vera at 10-1. Sang Yadong 10-1, and then Piotr Yan 25-1. So, Any long shot, or you got the champ holding on?
No, I don't necessarily see Peter Yan getting back that soon. You know, he's got to match up with Song Yadong, but the same would apply for Song Yadong. And then you go to Cheeto at 10-1, being that he's got the next title shot. That's a sneaky one, because the thing is that, you know, he might have a favorable matchup with O'Malley, but is he going to have a favorable matchup with the winner of Merab and Henry Cejudo? Because that's the title eliminator right now.
Yeah.
I think is the winner of Merab, Divashvili, and Henry Cejudo. Whoever wins that's getting the next shot. And I'll be real with you. I think if you're in O'Malley's shoes, you want Cejudo to win that. You want to fight a 125er. You don't want to fight Merab. So I'm going to go with the guy nobody wants to fight, Merab Divashvili. I think at plus 250 is some good odds. I like the wrestling capability, spamming takedowns. He's got good striking, man. We sleep on his jab. He's front foot heavy, so he can maybe utilize some leg kicks, but Sean O'Malley ain't going to do that. Cheeto Vera could possibly be able to do that, but I see some holes in his takedown defense. I do. So me being, you know, grappling biased and just the guy who nobody wants to fight, it's Merab, and I got to take it. So I just see after we get the 299 matchup between O'Malley and Cheeto, I do think Merab's going to get past Cejudo, which is a major accomplishment, but I think he's a bigger guy, a guy who could possibly make 145 to Cejudo, who was originally a 125er. Then you get Merab to get that shot against whoever's champion at the time. I think he wins. So that's my argument going in. Give me the plus 250 odds with Merab.
Joe, I really wanted to take my guy Umar Nurmagomedov at plus 275, but my problem with taking Umar is just he can't get a fight. No one wants to fight him, and
you're right. Nobody wants to fight him either.
No one wants to fight him, and that is my problem with taking him, because how many fights realistically is he going to get this upcoming year? One, he hasn't been scheduled for over 5-6 months. He's yet to have a fight with upcoming in the next 3 months, because they're planning out up until April. Nothing's been planned out. His guy Ali, he can't get a fight for him. No one wants to fight him. And my thing is, okay, he gets one fight and dominates. Then he's had a title shot, but I just don't know if he gets there this year, to be honest, just because he's that bad. He's that bad of a matchup for the division. So I agree. I think it's going to be Merab Divashvili. I think he beats Henry Cejudo in Anaheim. And then I think he beats Sean O'Malley, because I just think he's a tough matchup. You talk about his jab. I think that's very underrated. I think he has cardio for days. He could go 10 rounds. After that 5-round display he put up, he was ready to go for another 5 rounds. This guy just doesn't stop the Georgian. And you got to love it. I'm a little biased over here on the East Coast with Sarah Longo, but the guy, he's a fucking stud. I got to go with him. Plus 250, man. Give me Merab Divashvili as the 2024 Bantamweight champion. I really wanted to take Umar, and you know that because I texted you, like, I like Umar. So
yeah, and I didn't mention him because it's exactly that. It's nobody wants to fight him, and the UFC isn't matchmaking him. So what's next? We got to see.
Yeah, we will see. Let's go to the lightweight division right now. No, light heavyweight, excuse me. Light heavyweight. Yeah. And a lot of people, dating back to last episode, I saw a lot of people in other shows, and they do a great job as well. A lot of people took Alex Pereira as their male fighter of the year. And I understood it. You know, 2 division weight. He has a UFC Hall of Fame career in the time that Stipe hasn't fought, which is kind of crazy. But I just couldn't put him in the fighter of the year because of a loss. That was my one concern. But I
lost this calendar year. Yeah.
But I understand, you know, him becoming a double champ and whatnot, or 2 division champ. But yeah, he is the champ right now, and for him to end 2024 at the light heavyweight champ is plus 200. You have Jamal Hill at plus 300. My boy Magomed Ankalaev at plus 450. Yuri Prohaska at plus 800. Alexander Rakic at plus 800. Israel Adesanya at plus 800. What do you got here, kid?
He's kind of sneaky because they could kind of throw him there if he doesn't want to make weight at 185 anymore. But you know, looking at the matchups they have ahead for us, we got Yuri taking on Rakic. I think Yuri's, you know, he's going to have to kind of play his game with the awkwardness, because I would think Rakic would have the advantage, to be completely honest. Even with the layoff, I do think he's a little more traditional, and that can actually, you could see it in the fight with Yuri and Alex. The more traditional orthodox fighter got it done than the unorthodox, crazy strike guy, going outside the box, expending a little too much energy. So that's why Rakic, if he beats Yuri, Yuri's out, and Rakic still needs a couple more fights to get to the title shot. The title eliminator, to me, I think Jamal Hill comes in and has to fight Alex Pereira. I do think they do that. I don't necessarily think that it depends on Jamal Hill now, though. So if Jamal Hill's not ready, you're going to go with the winner of Johnny Walker and Magomed Ankalaev. As much as I like Johnny Walker, I'm a huge Johnny Walker guy. I think Magomed Ankalaev is one of the worst matchups in the division. And I think if he gets that title shot against Alex Pereira, he can match him on the feet. And the X factor is him being able to take him down and use his grappling. Once again, biased with my wrestling and grappling, but I got to go with who's got the best in the division, and that is Magomed Ankalaev. I saw him at plus 180. If you got plus 450 for me, I'll hop all over that. But give me the best, mismatch against anybody in that weight class, which is Magomed. Mongoloid.
It's 3 for 3, Joe. And we didn't even discuss this at all. We didn't go through who we're picking. And last year didn't work, but this is the year. Give me my boy Magomed Ankalaev at plus 450. I think, he's been with a lot of unfortunate events these past couple of fights. Things haven't gone his way. I agree. I think this is a title eliminator with him and Johnny Walker. Even if he does have to wait and Jamal Hill winds up, because I do think Jamal Hill comes back and gets a title shot. I think he's earned that, if I'm being honest. So yeah. I think he comes back around June, July-ish, maybe International Fight Week a little later. He fights Alex Pereira. I don't really know who wins. I would honestly favor Jamal Hill if I'm being honest. I think he could stand and bang. He
never lost his belt. He earned it and try to vanquish it. So.
And then I think, and I agree with you, I think Magomed Ankalaev is a nightmare in the division for anyone, if I'm being honest, with the wrestling, with the stand-up. Just can't be kicking buys with their hands on the ground. But I agree with earlier thing you said. Israel is a very sneaky at plus 800, just because he'll catapult everyone, just because he has that one of the best rivalries with Alex Pereira. He's even called for him, come to daddy. So we could even see, but I think Izzy's kind of done with that, if I'm being honest. Like he wrote his wrong, and I think he's kind of done with it right now. But yeah, I agree.
That's respectful. And no disrespect, Mr. Ankalaev. I would take it on all due respect with that. It's like, I'm not fighting a Neanderthal. You got me messed up.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's go to the lightweight division. We got the champ Islam Makhachev. He is a heavy favorite, minus 250. You got Charles Do Bronx Oliveira plus 300, Arman Sarukian at plus 450, Justin Gaethje at plus 500, Dustin the Diamond Poirier plus 750, Mateusz Gamrot plus 800, BSD 35-1, Michael Chandler 35-1, and Conor McGregor 150-1.
Yeah, I would principal bet, just sprinkle a little bit on the Conor. I really would. And maybe if you're feeling the Chandler has a shot, I just don't think he gets the title even after beating Conor. But Conor gets the title shot if he beats 100%. Chandler. So I feel like putting a couple units, whatever you feel comfortable with sprinkling on him, would be worth it. But I hate to play the chalk, but it's Islam. I don't think anyone's going to be coming close to dethroning him. Even if Conor does get that matchup, I do think, Islam might be a minus 300 favorite in that one. So it'll take a long shot for Conor to beat him if he gets that after Michael Chandler. So that's why the opportunity's there. Maybe take it. But I think the safest bet, even though it's very chalky, is Islam. He's too good. He's shown his vast improvements. He could have been up there for improved fighter of the year in my eyes. I know, like we said, whatever you want to take away from Volk, you can. But I think we've seen a new Islam, and he's awakened something with his training, with his everything. Coaching, he's getting the best in the world. Habib's in his corner. He's got the family behind him. He's leading the clan now. Everything about Islam makes me think he's going to stay champion and wind up being, as I put out, the second greatest lightweight of all time. So I'll take Islam Makhachev. I know it's very chalky.
Very chalky, but I think it was the easiest one to come down on. I agree. I think it is Islam, just because, like I mentioned earlier, his inactivity. I think he's only going to fight 2 times this year. And regardless if it's Charles, Justin Gaethje, maybe Arman Sarukian. I really don't know, but it doesn't really matter. The top of the top, who's right there getting a title shot, they're going to be a very big underdog. And to be honest, none of those guys I think could beat Volkanovski. And Volkanovski was his toughest challenge to date. And look at the second time he versed him. I'm not saying maybe the fight goes different if he had a full camp. Regardless, I just think Islam is light years ahead of everyone else in this division. I agree. I think you got to sprinkle maybe a half a unit just based on pure value for Conor McGregor, because if he does beat Michael Chandler, he's going to get a title shot, regardless of Charles Oliveira, Arman Sarukian winning, even Dustin Poirier. Like, Conor McGregor is going to get that title shot. He's going to sell the pay-per-view, and Islam would love it. Islam would love to fight Conor McGregor, especially with the whole Khabib thing going back and forth. He would love to just shut him up. So he probably won't win, and he probably would be a very big underdog, but just based on pure value, you got to go with the Notorious as well. Yeah.
And if you do put the ticket out for Conor, he does beat Islam, spinning it forward, as you would say. Do we see Khabib return?
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Islam's loss, bro, against Conor.
I think that's the one fight that would get him off the couch.
If Islam loses, especially if it's like some kind of, fluky quick loss too, or I don't necessarily
like Eddie
know
Alvarez. Boop, boop, that combo.
Or, I mean, more like that kind of showed how good Conor was. Maybe the Jose Aldo 13-second, like I don't know what would get him out of retirement, but Conor being Islam lost to Conor McGregor. That's something. Then that would be absolutely, that would outsell Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. That would be number one by far.
Oh, by the way, that actually happened as well. You saw Floyd, and Risen. Don't know
if fighting at Risen, but also Pac-Man should be fighting Muay Thai legend Buakaw, and Buakaw just came off fighting bare knuckle with Senchai. So there's a lot going on. I don't know what's going on with Pac-Man. From the Philippines to now he's freelance fighting for 100.
I love it though. I love it.
He's a bad MFer though. You always got to love Pac-Man, bro.
Let's go to one of your favorite weight classes, the flyweights.
Ooh,
and I agree. I think Alexander Pantoja has really become one of my favorite fighters. That fight with Brandon Moreno literally had everything in it last year. And then his speech afterwards to my father, "You believe in me now." Like, it's like, how do you not root for a guy like that? So he is the champion. He's plus 120 to remain champion throughout the year. Brandon Moreno is at plus 250. You got Amir Albazi at plus 400. Muhammad Makayev at plus 800. Manel Cap at plus 800. Brendan Royval 11-1, and Kai Kara France at 14-1. Joe, you got your boy Pantoja retaining?
You know how much I love Pantoja. I think, winning the title just with like Leon, for example, it made them better fighters. Sometimes becoming the champ just, gets you to that extra step. Gets you
Teddy
to a new
Atlas
level.
said it. Yep.
Yeah, it's absolutely truth. And great shout out. Teddy Atlas is a GOAT. But man, it's hard for me to not put Pantoja still in there. I don't think the long shots are in play at all. Manel Cap is another one of my favorite fighters, but I just saw that his fight with Felipe dos Santos concerned me. Felipe dos Santos comes out of nowhere off the couch in Brazil, and granted, he'd been training probably like savage, but unranked guy. I'm excited to see what he comes out to do next, Felipe dos Santos. But Manel Cape, I think, took a little bit of hit in his stock with that fight. So, as much as I want to go and play biases and take Pantoja, something's telling me, and I got a lot of slack for this, that the UFC is going to fast track Makayev. I know he's coming off that hesitant loss against Tim Elliott, where he threw a long shot submission, was going to lose on the cards if he went to it. But if he comes out with an impressive performance next, which I think he's fighting Alex Perez, I see him fighting 3 times this year. So he may get another top 5 opponent after that, and he gets a shot with an undefeated record at flyweight, injects that division with, with new stuff. Whoever's going to be at the championship, I think it's going to be Pantoja by the time he gets there. And the grappling credentials that he has, I mean, that's just going to be a barn burner. Makayev, he has to make strides in his striking. But I do feel like his grappling is actually pretty advanced. If you see the way he's grappling with these guys, he's kind of like 2 steps ahead of some champions, some BJJ champions. And I've seen his competitions. He's super slick. And I think, man, I know I'm playing biases with the grappling. I think at the flyweight division, you're not seeing too many knockouts. you do see a lot of scrambling. You do see a lot of exchanges where this could be the place. And if Makayev is 2 steps ahead of you in the grappling exchanges, he could find his way to the title, winning the title as a specialist. I'm taking the big long shot in terms of my eyes because you said there were other longer shots, but Makayev to me is a long shot. I just think he's a sneaky dark horse in that flyweight division. So I'll take Muhammad Makayev, and I know you might be hating me for that one, and I believe this is the first time we're going to have opposite stances.
Yeah, no, I'm interested. It was very interesting. You took him plus 800, and I like it. I just don't know if I agree they'll probably fast track him because they do like him. I just don't know because he's gonna fight Alex Perez in a few months. Then I just don't know where he goes from there. Especially, he's fighting up one. I feel like he'd have to fight 3 times to get to a title shot in this flyweight division. I agree. I don't think any of the long shots are at shot. Brendan Revel just had his chance. Kai France, he's injured. Manel Cap, I agree. I thought it was a good win, but a guy coming on short notice off the couch took you to a decision and kind of held his own against you. I pumped the brakes on Manel Cap for just right now.
Yeah.
Amir Albazi, I don't think beats Brandon Moreno. And then I don't think Brandon Moreno. I just think Alexander Pantoja has Brandon Moreno's number. And I think that's what it comes down to. So I'm going to take the champ at plus 120. I think Alexander Pantoja fights 2-3 times. I think he fights the winner of obviously Brandon Moreno and Amir Albazi. Whoever wins, which I do think it will be Brandon Moreno, but I think that'll be his last shot, Brandon Moreno, at the title, because I don't think they're going to give it to him again.
Yeah, I agree. I like that stance. And how's how it could play out? Because you've got, like you said, Moreno, who's number 1 fighting number 2 Albazi. So let's say Moreno wins that. I don't think he's getting the title shot, right? You can give it to the winner of Matus Nicolau and Manel Capet. You can. If you want to do that, you can absolutely. Yeah. And that's what would be making Makayev step up, because now you don't give Moreno the shot, and then he could face the loser that he could fight Albazi. And now you got an undefeated guy who beat the number 2 contender in the division, and now Moreno doesn't deserve the shot. He could be ranked 5 or 4 and get a title shot. This is Makayev. So yeah, the way that they're matchmaking and the way that it could shape out, that's why I say he could get fast track. It won't necessarily be fast track. It'll work out organically, but I do agree with you. It's going to be hard to top champ right now. Pantoja has hit a new level. Yeah.
Let's go to the heavyweight division right now. Obviously, the undisputed champion is John Jones. You got the interim champ, Tommy Aspinall. Right now, the interim champ is the favorite. Tommy Aspinall at plus 175. You got jail time Jolton Almeida at plus 200. John Jones at plus 450. Sergey Pavlicek at plus 600. Cyril Gane 700. Stipe is 1,000. And Curtis Blades is 20-1 at plus 2,000. I'll start this one, kid. I mean, we've seen recently Tom Aspinall really try to make and bang on the drum about getting the fight with John Jones and really trying to steer away the promotion from matching up John Jones and Stipe, which I agree to a sense, because at this point, what does that fight mean? It's a legacy fight, right? That's it. It has no meaning behind it. John Jones and Stipe, because even if Stipe wins miraculously, he's not sticking around. That's my problem. So you got John Jones on the back burner till probably July, August, end of summer, maybe beginning of fall. I think he only has to fight 1 time, if I'm being honest, and I don't think they fast track him or make the quick turnaround and fight Tom Aspinall. My question is, what are they going to do with Tom Aspinall? I think they're going to have Tom Aspinall take on Jolton Almeida after Jolton beats Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades going to beat Tom Aspinall. Jolton Almeida then will fight Tom Aspinall. And if he could get through Tom Aspinall, I was very close to taking Jolton Almeida, because I just think he is a bad matchup for everyone, even John Jones, the champ. But I'm going to go with the champ just because I think of the inactivity. I don't think we see him until maybe August, September. And then after that, it's a waiting game. Who's John Jones really going to fight? Is even Tom Aspinall going to be the interim champ at that point? I don't know, because Tom Aspinall doesn't want to wait, which I understand. I wouldn't want to wait either. So I don't know what's going to happen with the interim champ. I just think at plus 450 to current champ, that's tremendous value. I got to take the GOAT. Give me John Jones.
That's crazy. And we're back at it again, because that's who I have. I have John Jones at plus 450 to retain. And it's because, he's going to get that fight with Stipe. And after the injury, I mean, let's go prior to the injury. I think we would already had them retired. I honestly think that then you could go into this year and say, whoever they're going to make for the matchup, we'll see who comes out of that. But it's kind of, you got to think it was a last minute replacement is how we got Tom Aspinall as our interim champ. So in all reality, it wasn't meant to be, but it just became. So if John Jones comes off of this injury and beats Stipe, I'm now on a different end. I don't think John Jones retires if he wins. I don't either. I think Stipe will. And I don't think it's the miracle if he does. Stipe is absolutely some of the highest level fighters we've ever seen. And he doesn't have to deal with as much power as he did when he fought Francis the time before. But we could see how the grappling, we could see where there's maybe a difference. We could see. But, man, John Jones at plus 450 right now, if you told me, I'll take it. I can't believe we agree once again. We had never talked about any of this stuff. But I just see him beating Stipe, I do, and then defending his belt against Tom. If Tom doesn't get a matchup with any of those guys that you mentioned, maybe he weighs in as the backup replacement, and they go, if whoever wins this fight has to defend against Tom Aspinall. And that's what the UFC is going to do. So I just see that if Tom fought John's going to want a way to win. And I think it's great value. So got to go with the GOAT. I got to take John Jones at plus 450, and I agree with you once again.
What do you think, before we move ahead to the middleweight division, what do you think they do with Tom Aspinall, in Loom? Like, because he wants to fight John Jones, and he's trying to make the promotion steer away from the Stipe fight.
Yeah, but isn't he hurt too? Didn't he just say that after coming off the Pavlovich fight that he was hurt? He came into the fight hurt. He didn't want to lose.
He came into the fight, but he's ready to fight within the next 2-3 months.
He's just saying that, though. You know what I'm saying? He's just trying to promote himself and fast track himself. But in all reality, he might need some time as much as John does in terms of getting healthy. So I don't know how much validity there is to that.
Do you think he fights, or do you think he winds up waiting in?
He just weighs in as the backup.
I agree with that. I do think he'll be the backup
once, and I think it's going to be John Jones at the end of this year.
Really yeah, towards November, December card again.
I think you said it. November. I think we're going to get John Jones fighting in November. And
back at Madison Square Garden, where they should have.
November, where they should have run it back, but this time, he already proved it against Stipe. He's going to try to prove it against the future. And if he handedly beats Tom Aspinall, what are we going to say? Tom Aspinall's not that good? We got to stop diminishing the accomplishment of these fighters, because these guys.
It's the John Jones effect, though.
Yeah, it really is. It's like with Cyril Gane. He's not that good, but watch when he goes back out there and he pieces up whoever he fights next and makes it look like nothing. So
exactly. So yeah, I got to take them. I was just interested to see what you thought, what they do with Tommy Boy. Let's go to the middleweight division. Very interesting, because the middleweight division, Sean Strickland right now, he is the third favorite at plus 400. Khamzat Chimaev is the favorite at plus 100. Then you got Israel Adesanya at plus 300. Sean Strickland, the champ, plus 400. DDP at plus 500. Bo Nickel plus 550. Ikram Islavov at plus 700. And then Alex Squareoff, thank you. And then Brendan Allen at 15-1.
Honestly, Ikram was one of the better debuts we had in 2023. And, Brendan Allen, he's a fight after Marvin to be from the title shot. So that's kind of sneaky. He'll probably fight twice this year. Just got to see how it works out. And if we lose Sean Strickland as champ, then DDP is going to have to defend his belt against who? Izzy. Izzy has a higher chance of coming back then if DDP wins. I think he has a higher chance of going to light heavyweight if Sean retains, as interesting as that may sound. I actually think I agree with the odds. I do think that Sean, as the champ, shouldn't be the favorite going into 2024. And then the other guy you said, Izzy, I really feel like he should just be off the – I really think it should be worse than Sean. I honestly Bo Nickel on that list is kind of embarrassing. I hate
why is he there?
I don't know. It's just what, he's going to fight Cody Brundage to get a title shot, bro? That's not happening. So – yeah, I hate to say it, man, and I hope you have another stance on this, but Khamzat Chimaev is who I put at plus 100.
Very interesting.
He's just gonna get that title shot no matter who's gonna be there, and I don't know if they confirm anything for him yet. I heard rumors about Bobby Knuckles and Khamzat. So if you fight Robert Whittaker, you're getting to the title, and if you beat him, you definitely get a title shot.
No, Absolutely. Bobby Knuckles has a fight against Paulo Costa. in
Oh, so
Anaheim,
so there is
298.
no fight announced for Hamzat then.
No, he just posted some selfies on Twitter
But was
or
that from
X.
like years ago when he had caught COVID?
No, these are recent. He was sick. So I don't know what's going on with
Yeah, I don't know
Khamzat
what's going on.
Chimaev,
But
if
I
I'm
put it
being
because I'm
yeah.
being biased. All this hype around him that he's the next prodigy. Maybe he has a permanent lung damage or he's immunocompromised. I don't know necessarily. We got to see it. But every time I've seen him gone out there, he's done pretty good. If it was a 5-round fight with Kamaru Usman, he probably would have lost that. But it's at 185 where he wanted to be a double champ, and I don't see that. I think, yeah, I think 170 is not his weight class. 185 is where he's going to have to be. So I think he's a bad matchup. If everything is good, he's a bad matchup for most of that division in my eyes. DDP, Izzy, Sean Strickland, the top of the heap. He's a bad matchup for them. He just needs to take care of himself outside of the octagon, if you would, and
make weight.
So I guess there's a lot of more roadblocks and a lot of more controversy or argument made against him. But I went with what like the UFC wants. They want to put him in the title shot. They want to, he's got a lot of fandom.
Smash.
I'm kind of very hesitant. This is like, I'm glad you put this last. This is my most hesitant pick and probably the least likely of the lot. But I got to go with Hamzat. Just because it's all leading to this. It's like, if it's not now, then when is it going to be? It's going to be never. So,
yeah, no, I agree. I thought this one was the hardest one for the men's just because of the uncertainty. I agree. I don't think Sean Strickland should be the favorite, but I do think he beats DDP. So my thing is he's a promotion. The promotion loves Sean Strickland in the sense that they could book him in a week and he'll be like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like he'll fight whenever, wherever. Bo Nickel's disgrace being on there. I love Bo Nickel, but him being 550 is ridiculous, especially since the pathway that he's taking. He's not even taking big level fights. He's fighting 3 times a year, and he's only going up maybe five rankings per fight. So for him to be, he might be a future champ. I don't know. But for him to be plus 550 is kind of disrespectful, especially when Brendan Allen's 1 fight away.
Yep.
I don't think DDP because I think he loses against Sean Strickland, and I think then he has like 2 fights to get back there. But if he does win DDP, I think Izzy comes back and they have that feud that they built up in the octagon. Yeah, exactly. The King of Africa. So I'm gonna go with Izzy. I'm gonna go with Izzy at plus 300 just because I believe him when he said he is taking a hiatus. You probably won't see him until till maybe October, November. I truly believe that he's enjoying life. He has enough money in the bank. And he fought so many times. He defended it. He went through the division. Now he wants to see how it kind of unravels a little bit. Let Sean Strickland and DDP fight. See what happens there. Maybe Khamzat Chimaev. I still think he's a fight away from even getting a title fight, if I'm being honest. I still think he has to fight one more time to even get a shot at Sean Strickland or DDP, whoever wins. So Izzy's earned enough where he could go away for a year and come back and get a title shot. That is why I think he has tremendous value, because if he comes back and then starches him, he's not going to fight for another 3-4 months, which maybe it'd be January, February. So I'm going to go Izzy at plus 300. I think he comes back. He gets his belt back. I think he learned a lot from the Sean Strickland fight. And yeah, I think he's earned his little hiatus. So I'm going to go.
I think we're pretty safe from that middleweight division. We ended on a good note for the men's because honestly, if you're right, if DDP does win, I do think Izzy comes out and he wants to challenge him. And I think the UFC would grant him it. Like you said, he's earned that. And if he doesn't, if Sean Strickland defends, I mean, it's up in the air. I mean, Hamzat could easily step in. They could go another direction if they wanted to. They can kind of do whatever they want if Sean retains. So, I mean, they could run Izzy against him if they wanted to. I just don't think there's as much significance. He's just kind of trying to redeem his loss. But, man, like you said, the battle for King of Africa would be great if we did get it.
Do you think DDP has kind of broken Sean Strickland before their fight, getting under his skin, making him jump over the thing?
No. I don't think Sean Strickland has really ever talked about. I agree with DDP. If you saw his recent release, he was saying, I don't think that Sean Strickland's actually thought. And I think that's actually true. I think he just fought. He's never thought. He just fought. I think DDP's right in that analysis of Sean Strickland. Who needs a therapist when you have Theo Vaughn in your corner? You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
that's what it comes down to. I think when you get together with the boys, sometimes you have a heart to heart, and it's just what happens. So no, I don't think that at all. I think Sean's ready for this fight. If you've seen his sparring footage, he's sparring against Magomed Ankalaev. He's sparring against the who's who. I don't know who DDP's really training with. I bet he's training with great people, but I just haven't seen it as much.
Cameron Simon.
Okay. And
I just said it because they're both South African.
That's hilarious, bro. Go spar Mike Perry, bro.
Oh my God, imagine. The only men weight class that we didn't have odds for was the featherweight division. Obviously, Alexander Volkanovski. You got Max Holloway, Yuri Rodriguez.
I go with no odds, but I think he'd honestly be, if not close to the champ, he'd be right under it, is Ilia Topuria. That's who I picked as being the champ for 2024. I do think he beats Alexander Volkanovski. I know a lot of people don't think that. I think the dude's super talented. We need a fighter in the roster that's going to be the cover of GQ, and that's Ilia Topuria. So,
oh yeah, another man dime. I agree. I love Alexander Volkanovski. Don't get me wrong, but I think Ilia Topuria wins that fight. We got Brandon Ortega taking on Yair Rodriguez as well. That's going to be interesting. I think if you're Max Holloway, you need Ilia Topuria to win this fight, because I just don't think they're going to give him the fourth shot. But if they do, maybe Max Holloway finally gets the monkey off of his back. I don't know. I would love to see Max become champ, if I'm being honest. I'm very biased. I love Max. But yeah, I just don't see there's a lot of value here with anyone. There's no odds, but I think it's going to be either Ilia Topuria, Alexander Volkanovski. I don't think Arnold Allen or Brandon Ortega or Yair Rodriguez get a title shot. I mean, Brian Ortega's taking on Yair Rodriguez, and then Arnold Allen is taking on Mozart Evilov.
That Habib has had a win in the time that Brian Ortega hasn't been fighting.
That's sad. That's sad. Let's go to the women, kid. Let's go to the flyweight champion odds. I love this division, if I'm being honest. The flyweights are, I think,
men and women flyweights are fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. You got the champ Alexa Grasso at plus 150. Our girl Erin Blanchfield at plus 210. Manil Fiore at plus 300. The Bullet Valentina Shevchenko at plus 350. Zhang Wei Li plus 350. Don't sleep on the girl. The future, Macy Barber 18-1, and our girl Rose Namajunas at 20-1. You taking our hometown girl?
I am. I'm taking Erin Blanchfield to be the champion at the end of 2024 in the flyweight division for the women's at plus 200, plus 210. I think that grappling speaks for itself. She gets past Mina Fiorot, and she gets her title shot, and we're gonna see it live and in person. So, yeah, I think the world of Erin Blanchfield. Her striking, her stand-up has improved significantly. And if she does stand and bang with Mana Fiorot, she can stand with anyone on the planet. So obviously the X factor, if she finds it way to her game, taking her on the ground, that's where I feel like she'll take over and she'll submit Mana Fiorot. And I do see that. I will predict that, and I will play that when that comes around. You'll see me hitting that ticket live in person. But Erin Blanchfield, I think, is a bad matchup for everyone in that division. It's surprising Shevchenko isn't as high as she is. And honestly, Rose is kind of sneaky being in the back of the pack, but I do think they have to work a little bit more to get to that. And I think what you're seeing with like Wei Li Zhang and like the others is kind of like if they would go for the double champ status. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of work to be done with there. And it's actually more likely that Erin Blanchfield wins the title. And if she defends, she goes up the next year to fight at bantamweight. So, I mean, anything's on the table with this girl. And I think the world of her at plus 200, great value. Gets past Mana Fiorot. She's a bad matchup for anybody.
It's just very interesting because obviously they're going to run it back, the trilogy, Valentina and Alexa Grasso. My concern now is if Valentina winds up winning, gets her belt back in whenever they fight, maybe February, March, April. Now, do they do the fourth time? Do they go and run it right back with Alexa Grasso? That's what's kind of keeping me away from other people, because I think this rivalry that's kind of brewing between Alexa Grasso and Valentina is kind of putting the division on hold a little bit. I agree. I think Erin Blanchfield beats Manel Fiore. I like Macy Barber as well, if I'm being
Wow.
honest. 18-1. I think she's 2 fights away. She's sitting at where's Macy Barber? She's sitting at number 7. She's fighting. She's fighting. Who is she fighting? She's fighting Lauren Murphy. She's fighting Lauren Murphy.
That's a good matchup for her. Lauren Murphy's tough, but I just think she's, up in her age, she's kind of her skills or her capabilities diminished slightly. That's
yeah.
all.
So I think if Macy Barber wins against Lauren Murphy, she's gonna get a top 5 fight. Beats that, she's in for a title fight. She could fight 3 times in a year.
You can
Watch out, Macy Barber
fighting the loser of this fight, the Blanchfield Fierro fight.
So I'm gonna take Aaron Blanchfield on principle, but I wouldn't be surprised if Valentina became champ at plus 350. I wouldn't be surprised if Alexa Grasso won. Her striking has been fantastic. And I'm gonna throw a little sprinkle on Macy Barber. I think the flyweight is very interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have a ton of action in the flyweight division because I think there are a lot of fucking really good girls in this division. So yeah, give me. I'm gonna sprinkle a little on Alexa Grasso, a little on Aaron Blanchfield, Valentina, and Macy Barber. So kind of
all over there.
I'm all over the place in that one. Let's go to the bantamweight division. No champion. The GOAT retired. That's probably one of the best moments of 2023 as well. Putting both of the belts down. She is the GOAT, Amanda Nunes. But right now, no champ. Juliana Pena is the favorite at plus 250. Moreno Bueno Silva is second at plus 400. Kathleen Ferreira at plus 500 is third. Raquel Pennington is plus 500 at fourth. Fifth is Irina Aldana at plus 750. Valentina Shevchenko at plus 750. Joe, my thing is Juliana Pena is the best fighter in this division, but watch out for Moreno Bueno Silva. She does have the championship fight against Raquel Pennington. I'm not as high as others on Raquel Pennington as others, but I think Moreno Bueno Silva winds up beating her. She's going to wind up fighting Juliana Pena after that. Juliana Pena has announced that when she comes back, she is fighting for the title. And I think she's just a bad matchup for whoever, Raquel Pennington or Bueno Silva, whoever winds up winning that fight. I think Juliana Pena is a bad matchup for either of those women. So I'm going to go a little chalky here. I'm going to go the favorite. Give me the Vixen, Juliana Pena at plus 250.
Mad respect. I love that take. It seems like the most likely outcome because what I'm going for is very far-fetched. So, one, I'll take it a little less, so I'm going to surprise you at the end. I do like Valentina Shevchenko at plus 750 to beat a bantamweight champ. Arguably at that weight class, she beat Nunes twice, and she didn't get the nod either time. So, if she wins or loses, she can find herself up a weight class and trying to be right at the top of the heap. And that's Valentina Shevchenko at plus 750. That's live for me at the bantamweight division, regardless of what happens at 125 with her. But my longest of shots, and I don't know if you can even get it, it's just a fantasy. The return of Ronda Rousey at UFC 300.
Wow.
And she becomes champ at the end of the year. So I'm going to go with Ronda Rousey as well. That's all I got.
Do you think she honestly comes back? Because from everything that I've read, I just think it's all hoopla. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is a little far-fetched, but I have heard some inklings that she may come back for a fight at UFC 300. Obviously, for a title, that might not be the case. But, man, I don't know. How far do you keep her away from a title if she wins when she comes back for UFC 300? Is it a one-off? What's the deal? I just thought it was fun to throw her name in the hat. But, to me, I think Julia Pena definitely the most likely. And then after that, in terms of skill and what I've seen, I do think Shevchenko would be next, as much as plus 750 would say otherwise.
Especially if she can't get past Alexa Grasso, she'll go down or go up, excuse me.
Up. Yeah. But if
she
does, now she's at the belt and she goes for double champ status, whoever wins against the Myra Bueno Raquel Pennington. So
exactly. So should be very interesting. I think that there's no champ right now, but the bantamweight division for the women's should be fun come 2024. And then lastly, the strawweight championship. Obviously the champ Zhang Wei Li. She is the favorite at minus 125. Tatiana Suarez at plus 140. Jan Janan plus 700. Amanda Lemos plus 900. Carlos Esparza 11-1. Lupi Godinez, your women's fighter of the year, 15-1. And then Rose Namajunas at 16-1.
Damn.
What do you got, kid?
Rose in both those categories is surprising. And, I love Lupi Godinez. I think being as improved as
4 wins in 7 months.
4 wins in 7 months. I don't think she's going to be fighting as much come 2024, but with a couple wins, she'll have like 2 wins. She's 6-fight win streak right there. I mean, she's right in the mix, and so that could be a live ticket. And I do like Weili Zhang. I do. I think that's very plausible. She's been a stalwart at strawweight 115. It's hard to top her, but I got to go with our girl. I got to go with Tatiana Suarez. I think that wrestling pedigree is too much for anyone in the division. If you see something throughout my picks, there's a trend. Choosing the guys who have the advantage with the grappling. And Tatiana Suarez absolutely has that in the division. And not to say Weili Zhang can't grapple with her, not to say that any other girl can't, but there's levels, as I spoke of. Tatiana Suarez wrestling and grappling level is higher than those at 115, in my eyes, and what I've seen in the past. And the way that she's getting these girls out of there, submitting all of them, coming off of cancer, stepping right in, no time off, and beating these girls up. I mean, Tatiana Suarez is the real deal. We talked about it for her relationship with Patchy Mix. These two champions are just feeding into each other, and they're just making each other better. So I think they're getting the best of training. Tatiana Suarez is outclassing opponents, and I think, honestly, she may be 1 fight away. I mean, honestly, whatever fight she has next, she may be right in the picture for the title, especially what happens with the title fight. So I got Tatiana Suarez plus 140.
Yep. We'll end it on a strong note as well, because I got Tatiana Suarez as well. I think she's the best woman in this weight class, regardless of the champion or not. I have mad respect for Zhang Weili. I think she's a fucking killer. But Tatiana Suarez and her grappling is just light years ahead of everyone. She has a fight coming up, UFC 298 in California against Amanda Lemos, number 3 versus number 4. She's going to choke her out, and she's going to win that fight, and then she's going to call for the champ. She's 1 fight away, and then she's going to embarrass Zhang Weili wherever it is. Like you said, her boyfriend. And it's like a power relationship, because Patchy is the best 135er in the world, and he just elevates her. She elevates him. It's one of those relationships where they're continuing to elevate each other and push each other to become their best version of themselves. I think that gets understated sometimes too in like MMA type relationships. So I think Tatiana Suarez is one of the best. I think her jiu-jitsu is one of the best in the division, if not already the best. She has yet to ever lose. 10-0 in the UFC. I have to take Tatiana Suarez to win at plus 140, kid.
I love it.
Yep.
We're on the same side a lot of these, and we did not speak on this.
Yeah, at all. So we took care of the only division that we didn't have odds for was the men's featherweight, but we did talk about it. We do think Ilia Topuria might come out, unless, maybe Max
George
Holloway.
on the map.
Yep, George on the map. We also got Merab Dvalishvili becoming champ as well. But Joe, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Hopefully, we have a better year than last year. I think only 2 hit from last year, but it's hard to predict. Like I said, if you would have told me today, January 5th, 2023, Sean Strickland would become the middleweight champion, I probably would laugh at you. You know what I mean? But anything could happen. People could rally off. You never know. Short notice fight. You never really know, and that's why we love this sport so much. But, Joe, thank you so much. 10 seconds left. You got some boxing for us to close out the show?
Well, I got some kickboxing because next week we're back at it with fights, and one Fight Night 18 takes place. Superlek actually is fighting twice this month, bro. So he got a kickboxing match, and then he's taking on Takaru in Japan later. So I got to go with him, because for him to lose this fight and then have to fight Takaru in Japan, not going to end well for him. So he's got to win this fight against Elias Mahmoudi, and I think he does. Give me Superlek for Fight Night 18.
Let's fucking go. And when does that take place?
Friday at 8 p.m. on Amazon Prime Video.
Let's fucking go. Joe, thank you so much. Like Joe said, we are back next week. Back in the Apex, Magomed Ankalaev taking on Johnny Walker. Going to be a hell of a fight night card. Back at the Apex. Can't wait for that. That's going to do it for this Friday edition of Axe Kick Picks. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Joey, I am D-Rock. We'll see you guys next week with plenty of picks, plenty of hot takes. So make sure you guys follow along our social media, X and Instagram at Axe Kick Picks. Please follow along on YouTube as well. We go live every Friday afternoon around 1:15ish. YouTube.com/AxeKickPicks live. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review, leave in the comments on who you think will end 2024 as the champ. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend, everyone. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well. We'll see you guys down the road. Peace.